Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us for our next success series. Today, we're going to be talking all about Compose SDK. We're going to be unlocking Sisense Compose SDK for folks who don't know. Um, we are going to dive into a presentation that is all going to be about this new Sisense feature. So before we hop into things, I have a couple of housekeeping items that I want to go over. We do have a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. During the webinar, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A button for you to go ahead and go in there and to drop any questions. Myself, I'm Preston, the Senior Customer Marketing Manager here at Sisense. I'm also joined in the background with Emily Dusing. She is our team lead of customer success. So if you have any questions during the webinar, you can drop them in the Q&A button. If we can answer it during, we'll go ahead and do that. If not, then we'll make sure to come back during the live Q&A at the end of the session. So feel free to drop any questions you have in there before it gets during the webinar and presentation. We'll take questions at the end. We also, as always, the success series is going to be recorded. No need to take a bunch of notes. You'll be sent the recording as long as some useful links in an email post webinar. So be on the lookout for that. And and the last thing here is to complete the survey. So along with the recording, I'm also going to send over a survey. One, not only to have you let us know how the content of today's uh, success series was, but also to help provide us for some future topics. Again, the success series is meant to be a short, punchy webinar meant to give you actionable takeaways and get the most out of Sisense. My hope is to cover the topics that are most important to you, and there's no better people to let me know which topics are important to our customers than our customers themselves. So the survey will be the best spot for you to request and suggest future success series topics. So without further ado, I'm going to pass things on to our speaker today, Greg. Greg, please go ahead and introduce yourself, and gonna go off camera and let you go on with it. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Yep. Thanks, Preston. Happy to be here, my first success series, and excited to talk today about Compose SDK. My name is Greg Finnan. I'm a customer success engineer here at Sisense. Been here almost 4 years now, and mostly in the customer success and now within our field engineering services team. And I'm here today, of course, to talk about Compose SDK and one of the most exciting features that Sisense has released to date. I was initially part of our Compose SDK Ambassador program, where we launched with a small number of very interested customers. I took part in one of the first launches of the feature in a live application. So I've kind of seen it from the start, and really excited to see it grow and more customers use it. So we'll start with just going over what we'll cover today. We'll talk high level. What is Compose SDK? Why is it relevant to you? We'll move into what can I actually do with Compose SDK? What are the things that my business can leverage to improve our analytics experiences? We'll do a deep dive into the playground and sandbox, and then an actual demo of a sample application that was built internally to showcase how you can use Compose SDK in a live use case. At the end, we'll do some key takeaways, just things, next steps, how do I get started? And then, of course, we'll go into the Q&A. So what is Compose SDK? Compose SDK is a developer-friendly toolkit that allows you to embed analytics the way that you want to. So you look at Sisense, you look at all the different features and functionality that it has, and Compose SDK, the goal here is to really allow you to utilize all those tools exactly the way you want to, without having to take everything over, but really, grabbing what you need and embedding it into your application. We designed it to be developer friendly. Had developers in mind, wanted to make it very intuitive for them to start working with these components, to weave it into their code, and for it to be very simple and kind of just like right alongside your development process. We also have iframe and Sisense.js. Those are other embedding methods. And if you think about those, they weren't always so easy to work with. There's limited functionality when it comes to formatting. And sometimes, it kind of stands out in your code, and it's not really a true developer-friendly SDK. So that's what we really wanted to do with Compose SDK to make sure that it felt familiar. We do support a modern tech stack too with Compose SDK, so I'll highlight that briefly. Currently, we support 3 JavaScript frameworks, Angular, React, and Vue. And then, it works alongside your GitHub repositories, everything like that, because it just weaves right into the CI/CD process. With Compose SDK, there's really a lot that you can do. The whole goal is to enable you to build in the way that you want to, and to build apps that really, empower the end users with the analytics that they need. So if it's embedding dashboards, if it's embedding widgets, if it's embedding natural language queries, anything like that, with Compose SDK, you really have the power to create really unique experiences for your end users, to create custom visualizations, and really allow your end users to experience their data in an entirely new way. So next, we'll jump into the Compose SDK Playground. This is a live site on the Sisense page. So after this, I highly recommend you jumping in and taking a look at some of the code here. So these are all live code samples that you can actually copy and paste, or even change live in here to see how the code reacts, and then you can see the changes below. I'll go through a couple of different examples just to showcase some of the functionality. I won't go through everything, obviously, as there's a lot here, but just to give you a taste of what you can do. We start with a very simple use case here, so just embedding a dashboard that's been pre-built in Sisense. So this is a dashboard that analysts have built in Sisense, and to embed it using Compose SDK is as simple as one component with one line of code. So you grab the ID of that dashboard, you plug it in here, and then it renders this dashboard. So it's far more responsive than some of our iframe implementations. You have some options when it comes to additional customization. As you can see, the filtering and the drill down functionality all carries over. So definitely the most powerful way to embed a dashboard, and an easy way to kind of get your foot in the door with Compose SDK and to start working with the code, and kind of get a quick win with a very simple use case. If you'd like to go beyond just a dashboard and say you want to have certain widgets displayed, and you kind of want to move away from just a monolithic dashboard, and you want to kind of weave things more seamlessly into your application, you can embed individual widgets. So here you can see also very simple code examples. You grab the widget ID from the dashboard ID. You have some configuration options here, some style options, but now we are embedding these widgets separately. So you have the control to put them wherever you want, just embed one here, one there, giving you that more granular control and a little tighter formatting options as well. Next, we'll look at doing some charts from scratch here. So another big thing with Compose SDK is really enabling developers to build everything in code. The previous 2 examples we've looked at have been pre-built widgets in Fusion embedded into your application. But if you want to really take things to the next level, you can actually build widgets entirely in code. So you can grab your data model from your Sisense environment and then build out these custom charts entirely in code. You can see some of the configuration options here, and I'll just do a live change so you can see that the sandbox works. And it's really as simple as changing those chart types to see different experiences, and it's that easy to create situations where you can change things on a fly very rapidly. I also like to highlight this create new widget section here. So this is more functionality that you can kind of build on top of it, where you're selecting widgets from dashboards and then creating them live. And then you're offering the end user the ability to add to their dashboard with new widgets. You can go ahead and have a reset button so the end user can kind of, test things, play around, see if what they put together is what they want. And then if not, reset and start over. Another very nice thing to see with Compose SDK is the external charting capability. So Sisense does not support every single chart type within the application, but with the use of Compose SDK, you can query your data models and then funnel that data into external charting libraries. So here we have these Nevo charts. These charts obviously are not Sisense native, but it gives you the opportunity to funnel that data into these charts so that you can utilize some visualizations that might not be in the Sisense library. The last thing I'll show here on the playground is some of our latest generative AI features. So obviously we're looking to leverage some of the latest AI technologies. And one of the major ones for us is our analytics chatbot. The analytics chatbot is a embeddable component. So you can put this in your application. You can set it up on the different Elastic cubes or data models that you have. And then the end user can go in here and ask questions about their data, get responses in the form of charts. You have the ability to then filter down on these charts. You can look at some of the insights that the model is seeing in your data. And then you also have the ability to do some extra theming as well. So you can white label everything, make it really look like your application. No one knows, what's your application and what is Sisense. Everything feels very natural and native to your app. If you wanted something maybe a little simpler than a full chatbot, you can even go as granular as just creating a single kind of text box here where the user can ask a question and then they get a widget and response. So the playground does a good job of highlighting all the different functionality, all the different components. And as you can see, we have the examples for React, Angular, and Vue. So after this call, great idea just to jump in here, start playing around, start seeing really what you can do with the playground. Next up, we have ShopSense. So ShopSense is an application that some of our engineers actually built internally, and to kind of highlight some of the features in a live use case. So I will just pull up my screen very quickly. So as I mentioned, ShopSense is an e-commerce platform. We are logging in right now as a store owner. So I'm coming into my store to try to understand what's happening with my products, my most recent sales. I'd like to check my revenue. And with ShopSense, you have the ability to do that all within the application in a very intuitive way. If I go here and open up my shop, I can see all the different products that we offer here. But if I click into one of these and want to know, how these are performing, I can actually get a natural language generated description of the last few months of impressions. So if you are seeing certain trends about, when you're getting the most engagement, you can, connect this to your Google or your Google advertisements or anything like that. You can increase your spend and you can do it all within the ShopSense platform. So you have the ability to embed these widgets and this natural language within the application. Again, it doesn't look like you're leaving. It doesn't look like anything is Sisense, but Sisense is actually powering all these visualizations. If you do want a high-level overview of everything that's going on with your shop, you can move over to the Insights tab. And the Insights tab gives you a high-level overview of your sales and gives a bunch of different widgets about the breakdown of your revenue and how your shop is performing. As you can see, none of these widgets look particularly like Sisense. So these are all third-party components that are actually just powered from data from Sisense. So this really highlights the ability to use what you have in Sisense and then weave it into your own application. And it looks completely native. It all feels very familiar. We do have a couple Sisense high charts down here with some additional formatting options as well. But this is basically a dashboard, but entirely built using other components powered by Sisense data in a really fresh format that feels very native to the end user. If the end user has additional requests, or they want to do some more digging into their specific store, we do offer some self-service capabilities here as well. So this is all built out using Compose SDK. These widgets all exist in a Sisense dashboard. Compose SDK grabs all of the widgets in that dashboard and then allows the end user to go in, select which ones they want, and then add them to this dashboard. They can move things around and create a nice little format here. They can go ahead and add some filters that they want to see. And then they have this custom report built out. So if there's any reporting that needs to be done, you can put together this quick dashboard here, export that, and then share it with your teams. So ShopSense, brief overview there. The one other component we have built in, I already kind of showed it, is our chatbot here. So this is also embedded into the ShopSense application. You can see we're seeing live data being queried through the analytics chatbot. We didn't do too much custom theming here, but it does have the ShopSense assistant. So whatever your business is, whatever your application is, you can go in here, change things to make sure that everything fits that you want it to be. We like to say that ShopSense is really the art of the possible. So it just highlights some of the capabilities and some of the different functionality and interactions that you can build with Compose SDK. But really the most exciting thing is to see what our customers can build. It's very developer friendly. So we're really eager to see the kind of creativity that our customers and our end users can find, and the different sort of experiences that they can build using all the different components. Lastly, we'll go over the key takeaways. So I'll move back to my slide here.
Yeah, not to throw you off your rhythm, Greg, but as you're covering the key takeaways, again, I'm already seeing a couple of questions hop in the Q&A portion. So for the Q&A section. So right after this, we're hopping into Q&A. So again, if you have any additional questions, this is the time to drop them in, and we'll make sure to cover that at the end of the webinar. So Greg, go ahead and please wrap things up. And I see some questions already coming in.
Cool. Thanks, Preston. Yeah, so key takeaways, kind of what can I do after seeing some of this? The first one, as everything we've covered today, Compose SDK is the latest and greatest way to embed analytics using Sisense. You can go on the playground, start testing, seeing some of the different components, start seeing how you can kind of weave them into your application. It's available to all clients who are on the Linux version of Sisense, so there's no additional cost to start using Compose SDK. You can start working with it today. You grab an API key from your Sisense environment, and then you're off to the races. I included a couple links here as well, which Preston will share after the call, but we have some quick start guides. So kind of the hello world for Compose SDK walks you through how to authenticate through Sisense Compose SDK, and then how to build your first chart, and then even some advanced charting capabilities beyond that. And then lastly, just highlighting our Discord channel. The Discord channel was created with Compose SDK in mind to allow developers and end users to talk about use cases, go over problems, and just chat about what they're doing with Compose SDK. Every other week, we actually have engineers from Sisense do office hours on the Discord. So if you have questions or you want to get some expert discussion going there, you have the ability to go in there live. But as always, if you're struggling with anything, our field engineering services team is always prepared to help out, talk about use cases, and kind of scope what your use case would take in terms of Compose SDK. And that's our high-level overview.
Awesome. I know we have a fancy Q&A slide here, but Greg, just for the sake of folks being able to see us as we're talking through, you can feel free to stop sharing this link. They don't need to see that Q&A. So cool. I know we have a couple questions coming in already. I just want to make sure that I'm passing it over to Emily. Emily, do you have an extra point just to talk about just folks about how again, so additional support, ways that they can get started through the CSM lens?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys. So I just wanted to flag that we now have a support chatbot in the application in Sisense, which is another resource available to you. So if you're going through the process of getting Compose SDK stood up and you have any questions or are running into any challenges, would highly encourage you to check that out. It's been a fantastic resource so far, and it's a new element of our platform. So we hope you enjoy it and get a lot of answers there.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks for just recapping that just in case. So we're gonna hop into the Q&A, going through some of the questions here at the bottom. I see there's one here, Greg. I think just a confirmation of the type of languages that are available for Compose SDK. So I had Bala ask about AngularJS and JavaScript, just confirming that those are those available for Compose SDK.
So yes, Compose SDK, it's currently supported with React. The three frameworks we have out now are Angular, React, and Vue. So if you want to start working with Compose SDK, you will need to be working with one of those frameworks in order to get started.
Awesome. So if there's anything else there, we'll make sure to please feel free to pipe in additional things in the Q&A.
I'll also just add, sorry, quickly, Preston,
Yeah.
the quick start guide goes over the three different frameworks and how to get started too. So we have full documentation on how to work with all three of them.
Awesome. And as Greg said, I know you can't click the links through a Zoom screen, so I'll be sure to, in our post-webinar email that's coming out after this, probably the next week or so, I'm going to make sure to send those links over as well. So awesome. The next three here are all specific to the chatbot. So I have one question on, are the chatbot features available as out of the box? Are they available only through Compose SDK or within regular self-service as well?
Yeah, great question. So the chatbot capability is available out of the box. However, to configure it, you do need to bring your own LLM. So within Sisense, in the admin panel, there is a field called Sisense Intelligence. If you go in there, you can configure if you have an API key from Azure OpenAI or OpenAI, you can plug in those models, and then that's what powers the chatbot. So that is the main configuration that you have to do in order to get the chatbot up and running. But there's no additional cost from the Sisense side. It would all come from just the LLM provider side of things.
Awesome. And a sneaky plug here that I'll throw in now on April 29th, even before I get any invites out, we have our upcoming quarterly product roadmap webinar, our What's New webinar. So I'm sure in that one, we'll be talking a little bit more about the upcoming Sisense Intelligence capabilities. And I know the chatbot is going to be one of the features there. So when you see that invite, I'm already plugging you for the next one. That's going to be available. So thank you so much. Next question again around the chatbot is, does the chatbot have the ability to traverse across different data tables, or is it only capable to reply to questions related to the data points used to create the dashboard that's created?
So it kind of depends on the context a little bit here. If you're embedding the chatbot, then you have the ability to pre-configure the cubes or the models that it shows. So in an embedded context, you can put as many or as few different models that you want. If you are within the Fusion experience, if you've seen the AI assistant, which I see your next question is on, that one is tied to the data that powers that specific dashboard. And that it will stay the same in Fusion. But if you're moving to Compose SDK, there's a lot more configuration you can do, and you can open up more models to the end user.
And Greg, you can flow into the next one since I see you already have the Q&A open.
Yeah, and that's another good one about some of the different AI features that we have. So Simply Ask it was one of the first AI features we released in the platform. It's probably the most simple way, no pun intended there, to interact with the data in Sisense. So that is just one-off questions. There's no conversation involved. There's no back and forth. You can't, like add a filter on top of something with Simply Ask. But for chatbot, an AI assistant, it is more of that back and forth. So you can ask for a column chart, then you can ask for a bar chart of that same data, and you can add some filters on top of that. And it's more a back and forth. And the AI assistant especially gives you the ability to add those widgets to a dashboard. So Simply Ask, I'm not sure, I guess, if that feature was involved in Simply Ask as well, but with the analytics or the AI assistant, you could build a whole dashboard just asking questions back and forth. And
Awesome.
yes, I see
Thumbs
the
up
last
there. So
one.
I'm hoping that means we answered that question. So yeah, and Greg, yeah, you feel free to just go ahead and tackle and then go that last one. So is Compose SDK only available to the Linux platform?
Yes, so Compose SDK is currently only available to the Linux platform. I do not think that we have plans at this time to release it to on the Windows platform as well, but I would have to go and check with the product team. At this time, I don't see anything on the roadmap for that, but also a plug for our Linux platform. Latest features, latest and greatest of Sisense is always on the Linux platform, so might be worth a conversation, maybe moving over as that has the latest functionality for Sisense.
Awesome. So as we're wrapping things up here, thank you so much for the ones that have stayed to the end and asked some questions to be contributed in our Q&A. I'll give it another second before we close things off here. But final couple plugs here from me. Again, after and on top of all the links that Greg shared today, I'm also going to be sharing a survey just specifically on our Sisense Success Series. If there are any future topics that you want covered, maybe it's our Sisense intelligence, maybe it's the chatbot specifically, or anything above the sun, we'd love, me and Emily are the ones that kind of make that decision and want to go through and make the most impactful success series for the folks on this call. So if you have any suggestions, more than happy to go through and take any of the suggestions from our survey. So please feel free to go in there. Second, of course, any additional links that you see are going to come to you post webinar, so look out for that email. And last sneaky plug here is on April 29th, we're going to have our next quarterly roadmap webinar. That's going to be our What's New series happening for all customers. So please stay tuned and sign up for that as well. Emily, do you have any closing thoughts before we end things off for the success series today?
No, I think that was great. Just encourage everyone to continue to keep an eye out for our future sessions, and yeah, share feedback if you have it. We are super receptive to ideas, so would love to hear from you all.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Emily. And so I don't see any more questions coming in, so we're going to go ahead and close things off right on time, which is amazing. Greg is such a pro, leaving us right to the minute. So thanks so much, Greg, for hopping on today to share with our customers a little bit deeper into a look into how they can get the most out of Compose SDK. All right, until next time, everyone, thanks so much for joining. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Hi, everyone.